Hello, class 11 students. We have seen how Iago very craftily uh, told Cassio that he should place his case before Desdemona and ask Desdemona to plead for him to Othello. And we have seen that how Desdemona is successful in convincing Othello to reinstate Cassio back in his position. It happened that Othello and Iago had entered into the room where Desdemona was already present with Cassio, who had been imploring her intercession. So once when Cassio and Desdemona were having a meeting, at that time Iago and Othello had entered that room. He departed through the opposite door as Othello entered, and Iago was full of art, said in a low voice, as if to himself, "I like not that." So as soon as Cassio saw Othello, he immediately left from the opposite room. So Iago, seeing that, said, "I don't like that. What is the means?" Cassio left through the other means opposite door because he was very ashamed to face Othello. That was the reason. But Iago took it as an opportunity to poison Othello's mind and just said as if to himself that "I like not that." Othello took no notice of what he said. The interaction, which immediately took place with Desdemona, put it out of his head, but he recalled it later. So he did not take notice of it, and then he had some conversation with Desdemona. And when Desdemona left the room, it was then he once again recalled those words. When Desdemona departed from the scene, when Desdemona departed from the scene, Iago asked Othello, as if mere satisfaction of his thought, whether Cassio knew the general's courtship with Desdemona. The general replied in affirmative and added that he had gone between them very often during the courtship. Iago raised his eyebrow as if he had got a fresh light on some terrible matter and remarked, "Indeed? Indeed?" So Iago, pretending as though he did not know anything, he just said that, "If you don't mind, can you just let me know whether Cassio already knew about your courtship before you got married?" In the sense, he was trying to say that is there any way that Desdemona knew Cassio before your marriage? So Othello said, "Of course, he knew us because he was actually, a go between the two of us during our days of courtship." So when Iago heard this, he said, "Oh, indeed," as though he has something very, something very serious matter has happened, and he has come to know a very important thing which would which is very vital thing that he has come to know. This brought into Othello's mind the words of Iago which he said while entering the room. Thus he began to think that there was some meaning in that private meeting between Desdemona and Cassio. So when Iago said "indeed," then all of a sudden he remembered the words that Cassio had said, that "I like not that." And then Iago started thinking that, no, I also think that there was something not very proper in that meeting between Desdemona and Cassio. Othello deemed Iago to be a just man full of love and honesty. So he urged Iago to speak of what he knew. "And what?" said Iago. "If some thoughts very vile should have intruded into my breast. So now Othello thought, just as Cassio thought him to be a trusted man, Othello also thought that Iago is a very just, very trustworthy, and very honest person. So when Othello questioned Iago, Iago said, "Then what? No, some very vile thoughts, that is, bad thoughts, are coming to my mind." By bad thoughts means maybe, it's just my suspicion. Nothing as such exists in reality. Um, Maybe it is my wrong thinking, as he's trying to say. He went on to say that it would be a pity if any trouble would raise to Othello out of his imperfect observation. So Iago is now pretending to be, very reluctant in revealing his true feelings of his mind, and saying that no, maybe what I think is not correct. So it will unnecessarily trouble you, Othello. So don't try to know them. By then, Othello's curiosity was raised almost to distraction, and Iago, as if in earnest care of Othello's mind, sought him to be cautious of envy. But the very caution he pretended to give him against suspicion. "I know," said Othello, "that my wife is fair, loves company and feasting, is free of speech, sings, plays and dances well. But where virtue is, these qualities are virtuous. I must have proof before I think her dishonest." So Iago had already, raised a lot of question in Othello's mind, and he was, all of a sudden, Othello was very troubled. So Iago said that, don't get jealous of anything, indirectly trying to, poison him and sow the seeds of jealousy in his mind. But he's saying the opposite, and he's being sarcastic in that way. And Othello says that, my wife is a very free-minded person. I know that very well. So they are all good qualities. Iago, I must have proof before I believe that she is dishonest. Then Iago, as if glad that Othello, slow to believe ill of his wife, of his lady, frankly declared that he had no proof. So Iago said, "I have no proof." But he was happy that, gradually he is able to, achieve his aim. He should not be jealous or too secure. He begged to Othello to observe her behavior well, particularly when Cassio was nearby. He should not be jealous or too secure. Iago knew the disposition of Italian ladies better than Othello. He knew that in Venice, the wives would let the world see their pranks, but they dared not show their husbands. So Othello, asked Iago that if you have any proof, then I can believe you. Else, why should I, suspect my wife? And Iago said, "I don't have any proof. But if you observe her behavior when Cassio is nearby, then perhaps you can understand something. And one thing you are not aware of is about the character of Italian ladies. The Italian ladies, they kind of show a lot of loyalty towards their husband in front of them, but at their backs, they are very, means what he wants to say, that they are actually disloyal to their husbands." He knew that in Venice, yes, we have read that, Iago craftily insinuated that Desdemona deceived her father in marrying Othello, and carried it so closely that old Brabantio thought that witchcraft had been used. Othello was much moved by this argument. He wondered If she could deceive her father, she might deceive her husband as well. So, Iago once again said that, remember, Desdemona married you much against the wishes of his father, of her father. So, if she deceives her father, she can obviously deceive you. So, that warning, and that Brabantio gave to Othello, that very thought actually comes to Othello's mind. We stop here today. We'll do the rest of it in the next class. Thank you.